So for my final AT action plan, I chose to do a Google Slides presentation. This first slide is just a fun example of how I would choose to decorate my classroom and just a fun Bitmoji animation that I created. Moving on to the most important part of this presentation, we will meet Sammy. This is Sammy Sample. He's in second grade and has Apert syndrome. He has normal cognitive abilities, and most of his challenges are physical. Sammy has what is called syndactyly of the fingers and toes. I've included a picture example that we have been provided with throughout class just to show what Sammy's hands look like, just to give an idea of assistive technology that could help him in the classroom. When looking at assistive technology solutions, it is important to factor in the influence that physical challenges will have on Sammy, especially his writing and other fine motor skill areas. Moving on to the next slide and looking at student curricular goals and activities for which assistive technology can be considered for Sammy. I chose to look at 9 different areas, including writing, communication, testing, fine motor activities, transitions between classes, transitions between learning stations, focusing on assigned tasks, following directions and routines, and math-based tasks, especially those involving multiple steps. These are the areas that would most profoundly affect Sammy's performance, both at home and in the classroom. So moving on to the next slide. First, we'll look at writing tools and strategies. First, I chose to look at large button touchscreen keyboards, which would be available on his iPad that is provided to him in the classroom. It would allow for easier written expression when verbal expression or handwriting is a challenge for Sammy. I also chose to include word prediction apps to help Sammy by filling in words, resulting in less typing and potentially less frustration for Sammy as well. I included Siri on the iPhone, iPad, or other Apple devices for translating speech to text, as it is often more effective than other speech-to-text software at recognizing individual speech patterns, but this will take some time for these apps to learn his speech patterns, so it's good to have a backup plan in place until this is fully successful. I chose to look at the option of pre-affixed name labels for Sammy's paper-based assignments and tests. This would save him from having to manually write his name multiple times a day. This would be another way to reduce his frustration. I chose to look at an Apple Pencil potentially in place of his stylus, as it is maybe a little less sensitive to writing in areas where Sammy might feel frustration if he makes unintended marks on his digital assignments. For manual writing, I chose to look at egg-shaped pencil grips. Sammy's parents were interested in trying to continue to strengthen his handwriting skills, at least to some degree, since he's only in second grade. The egg-shaped pencil grips would be easier for Sammy to get a grip on than traditional thin pencils. I also chose to look at the classroom Bluetooth printer as a resource, as he has access to this in the classroom. It could be used to print out Sammy's digital work, both his assignments and tests as needed for grading and clarification of work. I also chose to look at digital name stamps, typed text stamps created with markup on the iPad, so he would not have to repeatedly write his name on his digital assignments as well. Looking at communication tools and strategies, it's possible that paraprofessionals could remain nearby and help Sammy express ideas to teachers and his peers as needed. Looking at an iPad app called Speak It Text to Speech app created by Future Apps Incorporated. It could convert written words into spoken words for Sammy. It would also highlight the words as they're read, and it can even save the spoken words as an audio file for later use. That would be a great tool for Sammy, as he could possibly just play back a phrase or something that he wanted to communicate without having to repeat himself over and over, which is something that he and other students could find to be very frustrating. Moving on to testing tools and strategies, I chose to look at extended testing time as needed for Sammy, digital testing if available, large bubble answer sheets to give Sammy more space to accurately fill in bubbles on testing sheets, possibly a scribe to record his test responses, and large lined paper for extended space to answer questions, especially for math and sentence and extended writing based questions. Looking at fine motor activity tools and strategies. The first one I chose to look at was a spring-loaded tabletop pair of scissors with a suction cut base. This would allow Sammy to cut paper without the scissors moving all over the place. It would reduce his frustration. For art classes, I chose to look at easy grip paint brushes with knob-shaped ends. This would be easier for Sammy to grip, and he could paint and be included with his peers as well. Looking at do-it-yourself glue sponges, this is actually something that I found on Pinterest. It would be very easy and inexpensive. Sponges that have been soaked in and absorbed liquid glue. Basically, they're stored in a sealed container for up to 6 months. Instead of having to struggle with fine motor skills needed to use a glue stick or to squeeze a glue bottle, Sammy could move the paper to be glued across the sponge. Looking at other art supplies, palm grip crayons, which are also egg-shaped, would be easier for Sammy to grip than a traditional thin crayon. Looking at a ring pen ultra writing aid, it is made to hold thin pens, pencils, markers, or paintbrushes. It helps to reduce hand weakness, and it helps with fine motor skills. It reduces pressure and prevents pain and muscle cramps, which are all things that could allow Sammy to participate in these types of activities longer without frustration or fatigue. Moving on to the next slide, looking at tools and strategies for transitions between classes. One thing that I considered was having necessary classroom supplies for Sammy be located in each classroom, which would eliminate the need to gather additional items multiple times a day. It would save time for Sammy and give him less to carry. I also considered additional time provided to reach upstairs classes, only really a period of a couple minutes, so he wouldn't feel as if he greatly stood out from his peers. Looking at different tools and strategies for transitions between learning stations. For the iPad, I looked at possible visual timers and visual countdown apps to keep Sammy on track. I'm having pre-prepared activity materials, especially for activities where materials would need to be cut, and having a paraprofessional present to offer prompts to help Sammy stay on track during activities between station transitions as needed. Moving on to the next slide, looking at tools and strategies for focusing on assigned tasks. I chose to include a concentration timer that would chime every few minutes as a reminder for Sammy to stay on task. A Forest app, which is available on Google Play and on Apple devices. It offers an incentive where a virtual tree grows every 30 minutes. The student can set a timer to work while the tree grows, and they can grow a whole forest. This acts as a fun incentive to stay on task. Looking at tools and strategies for following directions and routines in the classroom. Activity assignment and test directions could be posted on the classroom interactive whiteboard using bright, engaging images to get student attention. There could be picture schedules for specific tasks hung in appropriate classroom areas or attached to Sammy's desk to act as a cue when needed, and labeled baskets with images for where to turn in homework, which would not only be beneficial to Sammy, but to his peers as well. Moving on to tools and strategies for math-based tasks, I chose to include graph paper with larger squares for organization, large lined paper to help keep math parts and problems in order. I'm looking at a more high-tech solution, looking at ModMath for iPad. It's an app that helps students who struggle to write legibly set up and solve math problems without the use of a pencil. It includes virtual graph paper, pencil-free platforms for basic math, and options to print out work pages to turn in at school, which could work with a Bluetooth printer that Sammy already has available to him. And moving on to the next slide, looking at implementation. Some steps in this area would be to evaluate Sammy's primary needs as a multidisciplinary team and use these details to select appropriate assistive technology tools and strategies, to gather information regarding various resources for funding assistive technology resources and services. We would provide each team member with an information packet regarding the quality indicators for assistive technology, which are guidelines developed by a national group to help school districts and professionals define and offer quality assistive technology services. I have included the website here and also in my references at the end of this presentation. We would review these at the initial team member meeting at the beginning of the year and periodically review them as needed. We would bring in the Assistive Technology Assistance Center professionals periodically to provide training regarding SAMI's assistive technologies and services as needed at the beginning of the school year and as needed based on changes to the Assistive Technology Action Plan. The multidisciplinary team will also periodically meet with school IT staff to review success of various technology platforms, updating these systems as needed. We would also provide contact information for team members to SAMI's parents and have a designated team member reach out to SAMI and his parents on a monthly basis to determine if they think the assistive technology interventions provided are used to their satisfaction and if they are beneficial to SAMI. Moving on to the next slide for implementation, we would meet and make contact with team members once a month to review whether the Assistive Technology Action Plan tools are proving to be successful, unsuccessful, or if the results are still pending. We would have a designated team member sit in the back of the classroom once a month and observe and take notes on whether the Assistive Technology Action Plan tools and practices seem to be successful or unsuccessful for SAMI. Likely this would be the special education administrator or the special education teacher observing SAMI in a general education classroom setting. The general education teachers and special education teachers will reach out to SAMI. Let me go back to that slide. I didn't mean to move that so fast. Will reach out to SAMI at the end of each school week, asking how he feels about class activities and learning that took place that week via a digital survey using Google Forms. We would also provide all team members with a list of assistive technology tools and practices being used for SAMI, updating these as needed, as well as listing the purposes of these tools and practices. Looking at more implementation steps, we would create a list of tasks that would be involved in successfully implementing the AT action plan for each team member. We would provide SAMI with the opportunity to consistently use these suggested AT resources both at school and in his home as needed. General education teachers, special education teacher SAMI and his parents will note and share whether low-tech writing implements are successful in helping to reduce the frustration and exhaustion created for SAMI during manual writing assignments compared to digital writing tools. AT tools will also be adapted as needed to make life easier for SAMI both in and outside of school. This is just what the AT Action Plan team roles and responsibilities would look like in our AT Action Plan, just listing the actions to support SAMI and the individual members of the team that would be responsible for it, as well as the member of the team that would have the backup responsibility as marked by the A's and B's. That way there would always be someone available to implement the steps and responsibilities to help SAMI. And this is just my reference slide with the quality indicators for assistive technology services, as well as the website. If this is something that you would be interested in researching, there is a lot of resources on here. Overall, this was a very interesting assignment for me. I know a lot more actually about low-tech assistive technology than I used to. I think that I knew quite a bit about high-tech, but it's easy to forget the importance of the low and mid-tech services. So actually, I think this was very useful and definitely something that I will use in future classrooms and keep in mind as a future resource. So that is the end of my presentation.